Hey, how y'all doing tonight? Okay, I am excited because we got so many things to get into. Layback topic, family. We got some reading to do and we got some discussions to discuss. And I got excuse me y'all. I have a very important question I want y'all to answer for me, okay? Well, yeah. So I want y'all to give y'all thoughts on the question I'm gonna ask y'all, and y'all leave y'all answers down in the comments, okay? This is something we really need to talk about, and one of the things will be restraint and discipline if we have those things in our lives. 'Cause I know, like, for myself, I need more, I need to discipline myself more with a lot of things, with certain things that I'm willing to get better at. I want to get better at, but it is hard. We fight temptation among ourselves, flesh and spiritual, and we always listen to the earthly flesh of the things we want instead of listening to our spiritual selves, knowing the things that we need, you know, that would be much better for us. That's why we need discipline in our lives. I'm so sorry, y'all. This computer decided to update right when I wanted to start the video, and now it's acting crazy. If y'all can hear me, I don't know what is going on with this computer. And I know it's time for me to get another computer. So I'm sorry, you guys, if y'all were able to hear me. If y'all was able to see that, hopefully the computer didn't cut off. I hope it don't happen again. But okay, in case we was interrupted, we're gonna be doing the reading of the covenant of Abimelech. Okay, and in this chapter, reading this chapter, I realized one thing that made me ask a very important question. And I basically know the answer to that question. I'm trying to get that glare off my glasses, and I don't want that light to be too bright for y'all also. All kind of things just want to go haywire tonight for me. But that's all right. That let us know we on the right track. And we should continue with our Bible study, because every time I want to do Bible study, so be trying to get in the way. But as I was saying, we go through things like for example, which I call it greed of the flesh, which have a lot to do with temptation, our pride, overindulging in things, listening to your earthly flesh instead of our spiritual being, and our conscious and subconscious mind kind of fight against one another, like for me, for instance, with Lent, I gave up I I gave up things for Lent, but it wasn't the biggest thing that I wanted to give up, which is smoking, right? So I fight with that in my fleshly being is like always making excuses, you know. Uh, so, well, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna wait. And a lot of us go through that during Lent with all the things, are, making a promise to ourselves or to others and not keeping that promise. Which brings me to the question I'm gonna be asking y'all. Okay, so let's get started. Covenant with Abimelech. Then Abimelech came to him from Gerar with Hazuzak, his close friend and confidential advisor, and Pishku, the commander of the army. Isaac said to them, "Why have you people come to me, since you hate me and have sent me away from you?" They said, "We see clearly that the Lord has been with you." So we said, "There should now be an oath between us, with a curse from for the one who breaks it. That is between you and us, and let us make a covenant, binding agreement, solemn promise with you, that you will not harm us, just as we have not touched you, and have, I'm sorry, I can't see, and have done nothing but do good, and have done nothing but good to you, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessing and favor of the Lord." Okay, so my question is to y'all, because when he used the word covenant, God made a covenant. He used that word when he made a covenant with Noah, and when he also made one with Abraham, right? He used that word, and yes, it does mean promise, oath, which is the same thing. But to me, using the word covenant seems to be more powerful, more intimate, if that's the right word. It runs more deeper than saying, okay, a promise. Because, like, I feel, this is my opinion, I feel like some people can make a promise, just like I was saying for Lent, and we promise ourselves to do things, and then our fleshly being take over, and we end up making excuses and things don't never get done, right? So if a person was to use covenant, I think it would open a door or a window to put that belief in us. Okay, how serious this word really is, this statement is, you know. So the question is, can two people, two regular human beings, want to make an oath with each other, which means covenant, other than considering that it's a covenant to each other? So can two people make a covenant with each other, instead of, would it really be a covenant? You know what I'm saying? Like, God made a covenant with Abraham, with Noah. That was from him. That was his solemn oath and promise to them. But if we do it, would it really be the same and have the same impact as when God did it? Just like we say, okay, I promise this or I promise that, whether it's to ourselves or other people. But basically, like, I guess our subconscious really don't stop and think about the truth in that. That's just like when people get married and then they get a divorce. That they made a promise to one another, a covenant, I guess. That word covenant runs deep to me, with me for some reason. You know, in front of God, they made that promise in front of God, but yet I feel like we don't know the significance of how important that word really is if we use the word covenants. You know, so I'm gonna read this to y'all, and y'all think about this, and y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. And leave y'all comments so I'll know what y'all think about this, okay? So I asked y'all the question, can two people make a covenant between each other, right? Even though a covenant means promise, binding agreement, the word covenant to me seems a bit more intimate, powerful, because God made a covenant with Noah and Abraham. But God used the word covenant, okay, a solemn promise. It is supposed to be exactly that, with the strong power and meaning behind making that oath, which I don't think a lot of people realize the power in making a promise or oath, you know, whether it's with yourself or with God or with somebody else, you know. We use that word loosely, or we say something that we don't mean very loosely, without any meaning or thought to it, you know, like we should have. Is it supposed to be exactly that way, that with the strong power and the meaning behind making an oath? And we just don't realize how important it is, and the meaning behind making a promise to someone. Realizing your or our words is our bond, a solemn promise before God. Just maybe that's why the word covenant is so important. So y'all tell me what y'all think about this. This is something we all need to think about, because our word or our pen, you know, like when we say something, I don't know if it's written in a book of life, but we pretty much, our tongue is a pen to our life. You know, we can speak good things on ourselves and on others, and you know, it comes to pass if we put feeling and thought into that, you know. And making promises we don't keep or can't keep may be a disappointment to God, or a stripe that is keeping us away from God, from getting closer to God. We should start paying closer attention to what we say and do. Be more mindful, working on fixing the strikes we put in the book of our lives. We may have to answer for that on Judgment Day one day. And basically, if you think about it, that's in that's one of the commandments. That's basically a lie. If we say something and don't do it or don't stick to it, that's a lie, right? So I don't know. It's my thoughts on this, y'all. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this word being used, covenant, in our everyday life, which you're really not gonna never hear nobody say that. I don't guess. I don't know, but he used that word, and it just kind of came to my attention. That's such a strong word. But I guess back in the biblical days, their word was their bond. And my mama did teach us that too. Like, don't make promises you can't keep. Don't say something, you can't abide by. Because your word is all you have. If all you do is lie, then ain't nobody gonna trust you if they know that's all you do is lie, whether it's a small one or a big one. And I try to teach my children the same thing. Like, your word if you is your bond. If you say something, do what you say you're gonna do. You know. So I guess all of that run hand in hand with each other. Okay, so let me finish reading this to y'all because I worked hard on this. Okay. So we need to start paying closer attention to what we say and do before we do it. Being more mindful, working on fixing the strikes we put in the book of our lives, and in our lives we may have to answer for that on judgment day. So please examine this topic and also do your own research about this topic, specifically the word, about the topic, to come to your own conclusion and your thoughts and your feelings on how you really feel about this topic, about that word being used. Whether we say a promise or oath, it means the same thing, but covenant. That was my question basically. What can two normal people make a covenant between each other without God? Well, not to say without him, but just us. It's not like he's saying he making a covenant with us. It's just me and you making a covenant. So tell me y'all thoughts on that. Let's continue. And greed of the flesh, y'all. We did that. Listen to your inner flesh. We always listening to our inner flesh instead of our spiritual being. Struggling with what the flesh wants rather than giving the spirit what it needs. Our inner being what it needs. Fighting the conscious and subconscious mind. The principalities. Remember we did that word? Struggling to do what we know we need to do. The things that is right for us, for our lives and our souls, our bodies, but it's always super easy to do the wrong things. Doing all the things that won't benefit us in the long run. In the end, when it all will or will not count for anything. All things run hand in hand. These is the challenges we face, and we have to put in practice challenging ourselves more, being more, learning to be more disciplined with ourselves so we can really get to the next step in our life, positive steps in our lives. Okay. And I got one more thing. The daily practices, having more restraint. For some reason, when we know we are not supposed to do something, it makes us want to do it even more. We could easily use these things as an excuse. Oh, we human. Oh, we make mistakes. When we actually can put more effort and time and thought into bettering, turning our bad situations, our bad habits into replacing that with better habits. Putting that in practice. And I know that's hard, y'all. Okay, excuse. We always making excuses that we are not perfect. We're human. We're just human. But we all know if we put our minds to it, we could put in the practice of having more discipline in our everyday lives. Remembering the line in Psalms 23, we shall not want. Okay, so let's continue our reading. That really was something that I thought was very intriguing and interesting to me. And I just feel like it's not the same. Two people, it is not the same, you know, not like it should be or it's supposed to be. But we could make it that. Making a covenant with each other, you know, knowing the meaning and the power behind that word, that promise, that bond, And if we would just stop and be more mindful and think about that, then it would make things a little bit better for all of us. Because there would be more trust, there would be more confident in each other, in ourselves. All that, that little one small thing can fix a bunch of different things that we don't even think about on a daily basis. So, y'all, tell me what y'all think about that topic, and let's continue our reading. I'm sorry about the glare, y'all. I hope it don't bother y'all too much. Is that better? Okay. So he said that you will not harm us just as we have not touched you and have done nothing but good to you and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed and favored of you are now the blessed and favored of the Lord. So what y'all think? He wanted to they certainly noticed, that he had favor with God. So I guess they ain't wanted to cross him. They was like, oh yeah, we gotta make him our friend. We don't want him to do us nothing, and we don't want to do him nothing. I don't know why they felt the need to do that anyway, because they let that man go. If that man, I don't think he would have Abimelech would have went back and bothered them, but he did think that they hated them because they sent him away. Well, it ain't nothing like communicating. And that's another thing we have problems with. A lot of people don't be communicating like they're supposed to, and a lot of things happen due to misunderstanding, not communicating with one another. So I guess that was good he did that. Then Isaac held a formal banquet, covenant feast. So they blessed the promise, the oath, with a feast, a covenant feast for them. And they ate and drank. They got up early in the morning and swore oaths. pledging to do nothing but good to each other. And Isaac sent them on their way, and they left him in peace. That's cool. Now they all get along. Now on the same day, Isaac's servants came and told him about the well they had dug, saying, "We have found water." So he named the well Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. Genesis 21:31. When Esau was 40 years old, he married Judith, the daughter of Beri, the Hittites, and Basemath, the daughter of Elon, the the Hittites, as his wives. You know what I was thinking, Josh? You know what I was thinking? Y'all, please forgive me for this, but it's just a random thought I had. They were saying who the daughters married, and one of the name is Elon from the Hittites. And I was thinking, what about if that's one of his descendants? Yeah, that would be crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if he is, and like he know, cause you know they dig all through their history and all that. That would be wild. Uh-huh. Y'all, the lightning here is bad. My little my little light needs some more batteries. Okay, Elon the Hittites as his wife, and they were a source of grief to Esau parents, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob's deception. Now, when Isaac was old and his eyes were too dim to see, he called his elder and and favorites favorites son Esau and said to him, "My son." And Esau answered him, "Here I am." I love when they say that. Who was the first one that started that? Who was the first one that started that when you call them, they say, "Here I am." Abraham, I think. Isaac said, "See here, I am old. I do not know when I may die. So now, please take your hunting gear, your qu- quiver of arrows, and your bow, and go out into the open country and hunt game for me, and make me a savory and delicious dish of meat, the kind I love, and bring it to me to eat, so that my soul may bless you as my firstborn son before I die." But Rebekah overheard what Isaac said to Esau, his son. And when Esau had gone to the open country to hunt for a game that he might bring back, Rebekah said to Jacob, her younger and favorite son, "Listen carefully. I heard your father saying to Esau, your brother, 'Bring me some game and make me a savory and delicious dish of meat, so that I may eat it and declare my blessing on you in the presence of the Lord before my death.' So now, my son, listen carefully to me and do exactly as I command you." Hmm. I had heard That may be true, but we're gonna get more into that about the responsibility of the oldest child. I think particular the oldest son. I heard some about it, but I gotta get more information on it and dig more about it. Go now to the flock and bring me 2 good and suitable young goats, and I will make them into a savory dish of meat for your father, the kind he loves to eat. Then you shall bring it to him, to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before his death. Jealousy, 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 and deceit. Y'all, even though they be having a lot of bad things in the Bible, you know, I just take it as if there's some things we can learn from. Not Rebecca wrong for that. That might turn them two boys against one another. And why wouldn't you want they both your son, but picking favorites? You know, gonna tell her favorite son to go and hurry up and go do what the father told the oldest son to do so he can get that boy blessing. That is crazy. Go now to the flock and bring me 2 good and suitable young goats, and I will make them into a savory dish of meat for your father, the kind he loves to eat. Then you shall bring it to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before his death. Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, listen, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth, skinny man. Suppose my father touches me. I thought he was going to be like, no, that's my brother, blessing he deserved, or something like that. He worrying about because for a whole nother different reason. Suppose my father touch me and feel my skin, then I will be seen by him as a cheat impostor, and I will bring his curse on me and not a blessing. He was worrying about it for a whole nother reason. But his mother said to him, make your curse be on me, my son. Only listen and obey me, and go. Bring the young goat to me. So Jacob went and got the young goats, brought it brought them to his mother, and his mother perhaps prepared a delicious dish of food with a delightful aroma, the kind his father loved to eat. Then Rebekah took her elder son Esau's best clothes, which were with her in her house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goat on his hands and on his smooth parts of his neck. Then she gave her son Jacob the delicious meat and the bread which she had prepared. Remember, because Jacob couldn't see. No, Isaac, I'm sorry. Isaac couldn't see that good. So I guess he had to go rely on his family and his feeling and his smell and his touch. So he went to his father and said, my father. And Isaac said, here I am. Who are you, my son? Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done what you told me to do. Now please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may bless me. Isaac said to his son, how is it that you have found the game so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord your God calls it to come to me. But Isaac wondered and said to Jacob, please come close to me, so that I may touch you, my son, and determine if you are really my son Esau or not. So Jacob approached Isaac, and his father touched him and said, the voice of Jacob's voice. Jacob approached Isaac, and his father touched him and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau. Mm, man, that's messed up. He could not recognize him as Jacob, but his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hand. So he blessed him. And they was twins. Was they twins? Or Isaac and the other one, Isaac and his brother was twins. No. Which ones was twins, Josh? Which one was twins? Was it Esau and Jacob was twins, huh? Was the two twins? Because Jacob was the one that said, give me your birthright. Yeah, okay, they was the twins. Dang, you would have thought they would have been more closer than that. But he said, are you really my son Esau? Jacob answered, I am. Then Isaac said, bring the food to me, and I will eat some of my son's game, so that I may bless you. He brought it to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. Then the father Isaac said to him, please come, my son, and kiss me. So he came and kissed him. And Isaac smelled his clothes and blessed him and said, the scent of my son Esau is like the aroma of a field which the Lord has blessed. Now may God give you of the dew of heaven to water your land, and of the fatness, fertility of the earth, and an abundance of grain and new wine. May people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord and master over your brothers. Oh, now they're going to have to serve him. And may your mother's son bow down to you. Oh, no. May these who curse you be cursed, and may those who bless you be blessed. Oh, stole that boy blessing. Oh, no. Jacob been doing the most, though, ever since he started. The first time they introduced him, he was doing the most, gonna tell his brother, give me your birthright. Where they do that at? The stolen blessing. Now, as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had scarcely left the presence of Isaac, his father, Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. Uh, Esau also made a delicious dish of meat and brought it to his father and said to him, let my father get up and eat some of his son's game, so that you may bless me. Isaac had his father said to him, who are you? And he replied, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Isaac trembled violently, and he said, then who was the one who was just here, who hunted game and brought it to me? I ate all of it before you came, and I blessed him. Yes, and he, in fact, shall remain blessed. Oh, took that child blessing. Dang. And the mama did all of that. The mama caused that. That boy wasn't even thinking about none of that. When Esau heard the word of his father, he cried out with a great and extremely bitter cry, and said to his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. Isaac said, your brother came deceitfully and had fraudulently taken away your blessing for himself. Esau replied, is he not rightfully named Jacob, the supplanter? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. Dang, I would have never thought that about Rebecca. Rebecca was plotting and planning over them years. Never know what somebody thinking. Have you not reserved a blessing for me? But Isaac replied to Esau, listen carefully. I have made Jacob your Lord and master. I have given him all his brothers and relatives as servants, and I have sustained him with grain and new wine. What then can I do for you, my son? Esau said to his father, have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. Then Esau, no longer able to restrain himself, raising his voice and wept loudly. Oh, I feel bad for him. Then Isaac, his father, answered and prophesied and said to him, your dwelling shall be away from the fertility of the earth. Ah, dang. And away from the dew of heaven above. Why would he do that? He didn't do nothing wrong. But you shall live by your sword and serve your brother. However, it shall come to pass when you break loose from your anger and hatred that you will tear his yoke off your neck, and you will be free of him. So Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are very near. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. Oh no. You know, generational curse. Ain't that was Adam? Children, Cain and Abel. One was jealous of the other, hated the other one, killed the other one. Generational curse, but that's their mama did that one. That's messed up. Now he want to kill his brother. When these words of her elder son Esau was repeated to Rebekah, she sent that shit thing be listening all over the place. Them ears is large. So Esau were repeated. I mean, when these words of her elder son Esau were repeated to Rebekah, or somebody told her that, she sent for Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, listen carefully. Your brother Esau is confronting himself concerning you by planning to kill you. So now, my son, listen. and do what I say. Go, escape to my brothers, Laban and Haran. Stay with him for a while until your brother's anger subsides. When your brother's anger towards you subsides, and he forget what you did to him, then I will send and bring you back from there. Why should I be deprived of you both in a single day? You the one did it. Then Rebekah said to Isaac, I am tired of living because of the daughters of her Het, these insolent wives of Esau. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Het, like these daughters of the land, what good will my life be to me? Dang, what y'all think? Is that guilt talking? Do she feel some type of remorse for what she done, or is this strictly up on Esau in her head? Like, well, Esau wanna kill him. Now I gotta send my Jacob away. Jacob, I shouldn't have to live without Jacob, without both of them. I don't know, but hopefully she she come to realize, okay, and admit, look, I did this, I was wrong, I'm sorry. Jacob is sent away. So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said to him, you shall not marry one of the women of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan, Aram, to the house of Bethel, your mother's father, and take from there as a wife for yourself one of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. So that would be his niece. Wait, your mother's brother, daughter. Yeah, that would be the niece. My God Almighty, bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, so that you may become a great company of peoples. May he also give the blessing of Abraham to you and your descendants with you, that you may inherit the promise and of your journeyings which he gave to Abraham. Then Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Paddan Aram, to Laban the son of Bethuel, and Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Now Esau noticed that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Padan Aram to take a wife for himself from there, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a prohibition, saying, you shall not take a wife from the daughter of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother, and had gone to Padan, Padan Aram. So Esau realized that his two wives, the daughters of Canaan, displeased Isaac, his father. And to appease his parents, Esau went to the family of Ishmael and took as his wife, in addition to the wives he already had. Dang, how many wives he gonna have? Mahalat, Mahalat, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebethol, no, Nebathol, Ishmael's wife, born son, Jacob's dream. Okay, y'all, we getting there, my babies. Dang, they doing the most. Golly, so nobody gonna address the elephant in the room that the mama turn that boy Esau against his brother like that. And they just gonna be like, well, your brother wanna kill you. Go ahead to the other city, get your wife and start your life all over. May not never see him again. Ain't gonna address that Esau should not have those feelings. He should forgive him. But I don't know, y'all. Jacob's dream. Now Jacob left Beersheba, never to see his mother again. I said that. And traveled towards Haran. And he came to a certain place and stayed overnight there, because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones of the place, he put it under his head and lay down there to sleep. He dreamed that there was a land stairwell placed on the earth, and the top of it reached out of sight towards heaven. And he saw the angels of God ascending and ascending on it, going to and from heaven. John 1:51. And behold, the Lord stood above and around him and said, I am the Lord, the God of Abraham, your father's father, and the God of Isaac. I will give to you and to your descendants the land of promise on which you are lying. Your descendants shall be as countless as the dust of the earth, and you shall spread around to the west and to the east and the north and the south, and all the families. Nations of the earth shall be blessed through you and your descendants. Behold, I am with you and will keep carefully watch over you and guard you wherever you may go. And I will bring you back to this promised land, for I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep, and he said, without any doubt, the Lord is in this place, and I did not realize it. So he was afraid and said, how fearful and awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gateway to heaven. So Jacob got up early in the morning and took the stone he had put under his head, and he set it up as a pillar, that is a monument to the vision in his dream. And he poured olive oil on the top of it to consecrate it. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. And I know what it is. Consecrate. Yeah, consecrate it. He named that place Bethel, the house of God. The previous name of that city was Luz. Luz, lose, I guess. Almond tree, almond tree. Then Jacob made a vow, promise, saying, if God will be with me and will keep me on the journey that I take, and will give me food to eat and clothing to wear, and if he grant that I return to my father's house in safety, then the Lord will be my God, my God. Then this stone which I have set up as a pillar, monument, memorial will be God's house, a sacred place to me, and of everything that you give me, I will give the tenth to you, the tenth to you as an offering to signify my gratitude and dependence on you. Jacob meet Rachel. Well, that dream, I was wondering like why he dreamed that. Was the dream real, y'all think? Or it really actually was a dream? You know, sometimes God will or an angel will come to a person in a dream and tell them, look, do this and do that, and they would follow that. So I guess that's how it was. It don't read as if it was like that. It reads to me as if it was just a dream, you know. But either way, he took that dream to heart. Maybe I don't know. Hopefully he be like, he get closer to God and he be like, okay, well, you know what? I'ma confess. I'ma go back and I'ma end up confessing to my brother. We gonna make up. He gonna forgive me. We gonna make up and become best friends again. That's what I'm hoping happens. Josh, will you do me a good grand favor? Will you read chapter 29 for me? I gotta make a run real quick. All right, y'all, please excuse me. This is an interesting video. I gotta sit in. Josh gonna read chapter 29 with y'all. Y'all listen up carefully and give my baby some slack. He did really well last time, huh? I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, just sit right here. Give Josh a few minutes, y'all. Thank you, bud. Chapter 29. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Hello, hello, people. Excuse me. Oh, went too far. Chapter 29. Jacob meets Rachel. Then Jacob went on his way and came to the land of the people of the east, near Haran. As he looked, he saw a well in the field, and the three flocks of sheep lying there, resting. Beside it, beside it, because the flocks were watered from that well. I can't read. Now the stone on the mountain of the well that covered and protected it, that's in parentheses, was large. And when all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherd would roll a stone from the mouth of the well, water the sheep, and afterward replace the stone on the mouth of the well. Jacob said to them, my brothers, where are you from? And they said, we are from Haran. So he said to them, do you know the Laban, the grandson of Nahor, Abraham's brother?
That's who Nahor is. We know him, and he asked them, "Is it well with him?" And they said, "He is doing well. Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." And Jacob said, "Look, the sun is still high overhead. Is It is a long time to be for the flocks. Let me see. It is a long time before the flocks will need to be gathered in their folds for the night." Oh, yeah, that's in parentheses. "Water the sheep and go and return them to their pasture." But they said, "We cannot leave until all the flocks are together." And the shepherds rolled stone from the mouth of the well, and then we will water the sheep. While we while he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess.
Oh, there must be a female shepherd.
Yeah, right there. Shepherdess.
Yeah, shepherdess. I didn't know that existed.
When Jacob saw his cousin Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and Laban's sheep, he came up and rolled the stone from the mouth of the well and watered the flocks of Laban, his uncle.
I've
Then
been
J-
calling Laban, 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 I think.
Probably pronounced like that. Then
Laban.
then Jacob kissed Rachel in greeting, and he raised his voice and wept. Jacob told Rachel he was her father's relative, Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father.
Uh-oh.
You wanna go?
Okay, or you want to finish reading?
You
Reading it.
you could go.
Okay,
I'm a
thank
bad
you.
reader.
Oh no, you good. You did good.
Keep stuttering.
You so you sure pronounce them words better than me. Okay, y'all. Thank you, Josh.
Top of the first page.
Yeah. When Laban heard of the arrival of Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced and kissed him and brought him to his house. Then he told Laban all these things. Then Laban said to him, "You are my bone and my flesh." And Jacob stayed with him a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Just because you are my relative, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me, what should your wages be?" Now Laban had two daughters. The name of the older one was Leah, and the name of the youngest one was Rachel. Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful in form and appearance. Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "I will serve you as a hired workman for 7 years in return for the privilege of marrying Rachel, your younger daughter." Laban said, "It is better than I gave her in marriage to you. It is better that I give her in marriage to you than give her to another man. Stay and work with me." So Jacob served Laban for 7 years for the right to marry Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Oh, Laban, what is that? Treachery. Finally, Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife." for my time of service is complete, so that I may take her to me as my wife. So Laban gathered together all the men of the place and prepared a wedding feast with wine. But in the evening he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Jacob. And Jacob went in to consummate the marriage with her. Laban also gave Zilpah, Zilpah, his maid, to his daughter Leah as a maid. But in the morning, when Jacob awoke, it was Leah who was with him. And he said to Laban, what is this that you have done to me? Did I not work for you for 7 years for Rachel? Why have you deceived and betrayed me like this? Dang. Okay, I thought that I had caught that. So he went lay with Leah, Jacob, Leah, the sister. No, Rachel's sister. Yeah, that was his cousin. I gotta read that again. That slipped by me. So did he marry Rachel? Was he supposed to marry Rachel or Laban? Hold on. So Jacob served Laban for 7 years. Laban said, it was better than I have gave her in marriage to you than give her to another man. Okay, stay and work for me. So he did. They said, okay, so he did love Rachel, but he slept with Leah. Finally, Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife, for my time of service is complete, so that I may take her to me as my wife. So Laban gathered together all the men of the place and prepared a wedding feast with wine. But in the evening he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Jacob. What the crabs is going on here? And Jacob went in to consummate their marriage with her. Laban also gave Zilpah, his maid, to his daughter Leah as a maid. But in the morning when Jacob woke, it was Leah who was with him. And he said to Laban, what is this that you have done to me? Okay, okay. He didn't realize it. He must have was drunk or something. So up, he didn't realize who he was with. What is this that you have done to me? Did I not work for you for 7 years for Rachel? Why have you deceived and betrayed me like this? But Laban only said, it is not the tradition here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older. Well, he should have just told him that from the jump, from the beginning. Finish the week finish the week of the wedding feast for Leah. Then we will give you Rachel also, and in return you shall work for me for 7 more years. Oh no, you got two sisters and I gotta work for you, but you tricked me. No. Laban also gave build her, build build her, build her, build her, build her, build her, his maid, to his daughter Rachel as a maid. So Jacob consummated his marriage and lived with Rachel as his wife. And he loved Rachel more than Leah. And he served with Laban for another 7 years. Now, when the Lord saw that Leah was unloved, he made her able to bear children, but Rachel was barren. Leah conceived and gave birth to a son and named him Reuben. See a son, for she said, because the Lord has seen my humiliation and suffering. Now my husband will love me, since I have given him a son. Then she conceived again and gave birth to a son and said, because the Lord heard that I am unloved, he has given me this son also. So she named him Simon. God hears. She conceived again and gave birth to a son and said, now this time my husband will become attached to me as a companion, for I have given him 3 sons. Therefore he was named Levi. Again she conceived and gave birth to the 4th son. And she said, now I will praise the Lord. So she named him Judah. Then for a time she stopped bearing children. Dang, the sons of Jacob. When Rachel saw that she conceived no children for Jacob, she envied her sister, and said to Jacob, give me children, or else I will die. I doubt it. It's not that serious. Then Jacob became furious with Rachel, and he said, I am in the place of God, who has denied you children. She said, here, take my maid up that Bilhah. Take my maid Bilhah. Y'all, that generational curse. Abraham's wife did that with her maid. Remember? So let me see. Take my maid Bilhah and go in to her. And when the baby comes, she shall deliver it while sitting on my knees, so that by her I may also have children to count as my own. So she gave him Bilhah, her maid, as a secondary wife, and Jacob went into her. Bilhah conceived and gave birth to a son for Jacob. Then Rachel said, God has judged and vindicated me, and has heard my plea, and has given me a son through my maid. So she named him Dan. He judged. That's what it means. Bella, Rachel's maid, conceived again and gave birth to a second son for Jacob. So Rachel said, with mighty wrestlings in prayer to God, I have struggled with my sister and have prevailed. So she named him Nephtali, Nephtali, my wrestlings. When Leah saw that she had stopped bearing children, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her to Jacob as a secondary wife. Golly, Jacob getting women every which way. Zilpah, Leah's maid, gave birth to a son for Jacob. Then Leah said, "How fortunate." So she named him Gad, good fortune. Zilpah, Leah's maid, gave birth to a second son for Jacob. Then Leah said, "I am happy, for women will call me happy." So she named him Asher, means happy. There's on the ball, there been some busybodies. Now at the time of wheat harvest, Reuben, the eldest child, went and found some man rakes in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes, whatever that is." But Leah answered, "Is it a small thing that you have taken my husband? Will you take away my son's mandrakes also?" So Rachel said, "Jacob shall sleep with you tonight in exchange for your son's mandrakes." So y'all, do y'all think that's where that stuff come from? What they call that, Josh? When they be having open relationships. You think that's where that come from? The curse of that? Because y'all, it seems that all that they did in the back in those years have traveled to these generations. Like we curse with those things in our lives. Well, yeah, they was. Especially, yeah. But they still have those things called open relationships. They don't mind, you know. Yeah. When Jacob came in from the field in the evening, Lena went out to meet him and said, "You must sleep with me tonight, for I have in fact hired you with my son's man mandrakes." So he slept with her that night. There was some busybodies, man. God listened and answered the prayer of Leah, and she conceived and gave birth to a fit son for Jacob. Then Leah said, "God has given me my reward because I have given my maid to my husband." So she named him Isaac, Isaacar, Isaacar, Izar. I don't know. Isaac Har, 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 Isaac Har. Yeah, I keep putting that Har, when I say a H because I learned on one of them videos the H sound just like when Abram was renamed Abraham with that H at the end is like signifies the breath of life, the with the H. So I always think about that when I see the H at the end of the name. Leah conceived again and gave birth to a sixth son for Jacob. Then Leah said, "God has endowed me with a good marriage gift for my husband. Now he will live with me, regarding me with honor and his as his wife, because I have given birth to 6 sons. So she named him Zebulun. I know that don't I know I'm not pronouncing that right, but Zebulun. 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 I know that's not right, y'all. Zebulum. Zebulun. I mean N instead of M. Zebulun. I don't know. I'm close. I know I'm close. Afterwards, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Diana. Danai. Dana. Danai. Danai. Dahai. Danai. Then God remembered the prayers of Rachel, and God thought of her and opened her womb so that she would conceive. So she conceived and gave birth to a son, and she said, God has taken away my disgrace and my humiliation. Excuse me, y'all. She named him Joseph. May he add. That's what it means. And said, may the Lord add to me another son. Well, he did tell Jacob to multiply. Now, when Rachel had given birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, send me away, that I may go back to my own place and to my own country. Give me my wives and my children for whom I have served you, and let me go, for you know the work which I have done for you. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your sight, stay with me, for I have learned from the Omens in definition and by experience, divine divination and by experience, that the Lord has blessed me because of you. He said, name your wages, and I will give it to you. Jacob answered him, you know how I have served you, and how you possession, and how your possessions, your cattle and sheep and goats have fared with me. For you had little before I came, and it have increased and multiplied abundantly. And the Lord has favored you with blessings wherever I turn. But now, when shall I provide for my own household? Laban said, what shall I give you? Jacob replied, you shall not give me anything, but if you will do this one thing for me, which I now propose, I will again pasture and keep your flock. Let me pass through your entire flock today, removing from it every speckled and spotted sheep, and every dark or black one among the lambs, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and those shall be my wages. So my honesty will be evident for me later, when you come for an accounting concerning my wages. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and dark among the young lambs, if found with me, shall be considered stolen. And Laban said, good, let it be done as you say. So on the same day, Laban secretly removed the male goats that were streaked and spotted, and all the female goats that were speckled and spotted, everyone with white on it, and all the dark ones among the sheep, and put them in the care of his sons. Hmm. Is he trying to do that, man, babe? Trying to play him, I think. we gonna see. And he put a distance of 3 days journey between himself and Jacob. And Jacob was then left in care of the rest of Laban's flock. Then Jacob took branches of fresh poplar and almond and plane trees and peeled white stripes in them, exposing the white in the branches. Then he set the branches which he had peeled in front of the flocks in the watering trough where the flocks came to drink, and they mated and conceived when they came to drink. So the flocks mated and conceived by the branches, and the flocks gave birth to streaked, speckled, and spotted offspring. Jacob separated the lambs, and as he had done with the peels branches, he made the flocks face towards the streaked, and all the dark are black in the new flock of Laban. And he put his own herd apart by themselves, and did not put them where they could breed with Laban's flock. Furthermore, whenever the stronger animals of the flocks were breeding, Jacob would place the branches in the sight of the flocks in the water trough, so that they would mate and conceive among the branches. But when the flocks were sickly, he did not put the branches there. So the sicker animals were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. So Jacob became exceedingly prosperous and had large flocks of sheep and goats and females and males, servants and camels and donkeys. Dang. Every time he complete a task and get better at it, then he like, don't leave. Give me 7 more years. Give me 7 more years. So he left there with 3 daughters. I mean, 2 daughters, 2 maids, and like how many? He had 6 children for one, three for the other. Who he left there with like about between 10 and 12 children, maybe, and that's not even counting the maids. Both of the maids, some sheep, some goat, the flock. Dang. Okay, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the reading, and I hope y'all enjoyed the beautiful question and the interesting question and the beautiful message behind it. And I hope y'all learned something good this evening. And I'm very proud of our reading we did tonight. It was very interesting. I love it. And I hope y'all have learned a lot or a little bit. I hope y'all have at least had a laugh or it lifted y'all spirits in some way. And that'll do it for us, laid back topics. Thank you for joining our beautiful Bible study. And I love you much, 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 much. And I wish you a blessed night. And I'll see you again soon. And guess what, you guys? Don't forget, stay laid back.